How are
Did you
things
just
with you?
get out of the, did you just got out of the meeting?
I just had one meeting with our real estate community ladies that are, helping with building community here locally. How are
Did
things
you,
with you?
that's
And
great.
yeah, and they've just been incredible. They've 4 decades of building, real estate here in the local area, Edmonton and
Mhm.
surrounding areas. So now it's
Wow.
about wanting to do even more. So, how are you? Tell me how you've been. You moved from Calgary. You're
Yeah.
in now with your beautiful family.
Yes. Your background, first of all, looks really familiar because we see that every time you share the video, there's this background. So it's really familiar. Good to see. Yeah, we just moved here beginning of January, so we just finally start to feel slightly settled in. Like I'm finally my office is up and yeah, just settling in. So helping my girl to adapt to new school, daycares, new friends, things like that. Um, so yeah, we'll see how it goes for the next couple of years. We're just only here for temporarily.
What do you mean temporarily? Like what does that mean to you?
Yeah, so I'm here for my husband's work, and we battled for a long time. Like I didn't want to move to Edmonton because my businesses are in Calgary,
Mhm.
but we were doing the weekend driving back and forth. He was doing the weekend driving, and it definitely took toll on him. It's just a lot of driving every weekend.
Yeah.
So we decided to move to support this guy, and probably gonna be here until he started in August. So they're usually doing it every 2 to 3 years, the position changing. So probably 2026 winter or maybe spring of 2027 is, yeah, the maximum we'll be staying, I think.
And what is your husband like
He's in
creating?
Strathcona.
What is he doing? What is he doing?
He's in Strathcona refinery.
Oh, okay. He's the
Yeah.
refinery. Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. So he's working in oil and gas.
Yeah. From
Cool.
Calgary. Most of the people from Calgary are in oil and gas.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
yourself as well? Are you also in oil and gas?
No, I run a couple businesses in Calgary. I own a few beauty businesses. It's a very local service based. I've been running permanent makeup studio for like 9 years. We just launched Medi Spa 2 years ago. We're a team of 8 people, and yeah, they're just running it in Calgary, and I visit once a month right now. I've been only back once, I guess, and I'm going back next week.
I love it in this Medi Spa. How many people are in the Medi Spa? Like so it's like a kind of holistic space, is what you're saying?
Yeah, so we're a team of 8, and then when we were launching the Medi Spa, I wanted to fill our existing artists' calendar so they can get busy. So we trained this existing permanent makeup artist into Medi Spa, like facial, esthetician, and laser and things like that. So we are all sharing the space. Um, yeah.
That's amazing. So I love it. We were just talking about like having a space where there's a healing center
Oh,
and really
oh,
bringing in a lot of different modalities and
oh,
how
you
people
meant
can share.
holistic in that sense. I see, I see.
No, no, no. Yeah, yeah. I'm just curious because, it'd be nice to, since you've applied it in the Medi Spa, right? It's just a duplicated pattern that can be amplified and duplicated into a holistic center, right?
Mm, yeah. No, that's
That
great. I mean,
right? So this is something that, whether it's, a portion of it is nonprofit, a portion so that we can open up to different parts of the community, a portion of it is for profit, and then really amplifying that from a real estate perspective. So then around it, we can then also build community development so that in the center, it's really this specific component of really building community, and
mhm.
helping people really tap into their true nature so that then
Yeah,
as a result they can go out there and contribute even more their wisdom, their energy, their unique grace. So
yeah,
um it's nice to have you here. I'm very
Yeah,
grateful.
somebody just left.
Yeah,
You should hi.
Alex, he does that. He comes in and he leaves, and it's
I
all
see.
good, you know. People until they open up their camera, I don't really see their presence, so it's not.
Ah, I
I'm
see.
I'm curious. I'm curious about events. I know we kind of chatted a little bit about us want. This is Ronald. Have you met Ronald, by the way?
No, hi Ronald. My name is G. Nice to meet you.
Gene?
G. I just go by G,
G.
like AI. Yeah.
G. Hello, G.
Yeah.
My name is
Hi.
Ronald.
Nice to meet you.
You
I'm
want to
the
share a little bit about
unshakable
yourself, brother?
master of. Sorry?
Nothing. Never mind. You're already doing it. That's it.
Okay. I'm the
Eh,
unshakable master of health, wealth, and happiness, also known as Philosophia, lover of wisdom.
Oh, where are you based out of?
I'm based in the Netherlands.
Oh, wow. Far away.
And where are you based?
I'm in the same city as Eric, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Edmonton.
Yes, Edmonton.
Beautiful city where a lot of snow is.
Yep, it's still snowing this morning. I just recently moved here about a month ago. And I'm just about 3 hours away from here, where I originally came from, and just temporarily here for supporting my husband's career for now, for a couple of years.
Beautiful. What do you do?
I own a couple beauty businesses. So it's like a service-based, very women-oriented, service-based businesses. One is Medi Spa, one is a permanent makeup studio. So we do like brows, eyeliners, lip tattoos, like cosmetic tattoos, I guess. And Medi Spa is more like facial treatments, laser treatments, anything skin-wise, Botox, things like that. What about you?
Well, I'm in the business of helping doctors paying less taxes.
Oh,
I do that for
perfect.
I do that for 2 days, and one day I teach
Mm,
business economics. Today I did stocks and valuation and ethics, and tomorrow
uh,
I do business information management.
mm,
And one day I work on my foundation. It's a foundation to teach all the children in the world about business mastery, about what money is and what money does.
wow.
Because my hallucination is that, or my knowing is that, we don't teach our children what money does, and when they being adult, they just experience it and learn by their own mistakes.
Mm,
And that's something we want to change.
right.
And then I'm also studying, and I after my fourth master, I said it's now time to do self-study. So I
Mm,
read books. I'm now reading the Talent Code. It's about what happens in our brain when we learn new skills, and the myelin, what that does. And yeah, and I'm a very curious person. I love
that's
to learn.
that's amazing. Good for you. Not a lot of people can stick to studying after a certain age, so that's really amazing, impressive. That's great.
I've done it all my life,
Wow. How
and
about
I
you,
will
Eric?
do it the
What do
rest.
you do? That's great.
so I'm
What
not
about
much of a.
you, Eric? Yeah.
I'm more of a being versus a doing. So I don't. I'm very much focused on my mission to create environments where communities and families thrive. And
Mm,
this is a core responsibility of taking business owners out of their operating mind and putting them into their ownership of their hearts so that they can actually create impact alongside one
mm,
another. And so this is
yeah.
a fundamental responsibility in my life that I've chosen to take a path that's less walked,
Mm,
because it allows me to feel fulfilled, amplified. And so as a result, this is kind of how I bring consciousness to entrepreneurship. And I
Mm.
redefine what business looks like, because ultimately it's the people and the leaders. And as we
Mhm.
all know, the psychology of the leader is the most important in any business. So I challenge those leaders to really step up,
Mm.
so that they can come from a place of meaning and encourage that in their organizational behavior.
That's amazing. So your clientele would be just really over anywhere because you can do the coachings and help people just over Zoom, honestly.
Right,
That's
right.
great.
Which is
Yeah.
why I do the community calls, because
I see. Mm.
it allows people to tap into different parts of themselves. And then, when people choose to come deeper or need more guidance or support, then I go deeper with them, or we amplify or JV or partner, in whichever way that looks like. So this is
Mm.
something that, I really find meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives me a lot of energy, which is also one of the reasons, well, just so you know, Ronald, G and I met each other through Business Mastery as well. When you were on location in West Palm Beach, her and I were online. And
Oh.
Ronald, you may have seen, actually spoke with Tony live when we were live at that, or sorry, when we were at that event online, G.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
the
So
guy who sent him the email and going to spit on him
I
because I
can't
talk so
recall.
fast. And I went there with one mission. I want him to say the words "I will help you." So
Oh.
it was the where we talk about the buckets, the family buckets, and then he does walk around and ask people questions. And then I
Uh-huh.
told him about my mission to teach all children about business mastery. And within 19 seconds, he said, "I will help." But I still need to follow up on that.
How is he gonna help? I
How is he going
see.
to help?
Oh,
And
okay.
I wasn't ready then, and I'm preparing that conversation. It will be in the near future.
Wow, that's a huge impact. That's great. Amazing. I see.
So, G, I'd love to discover ways that we can, really bring that energy. I here in locally in Edmonton, focusing on bringing these conscious entrepreneurs, impact creators, meaningful business owners that want to either discover parts of themselves, how they can do that within the integration process, or a networking kind of supper club that maybe gets started small and then we grow it bigger. I think it would be really valuable to bring that once a week to Edmonton, and
Mm-hmm.
then allow it to grow organically because of the caliber of conversation and the depth of spirit that we go into in taking even more responsibility in our businesses. So I have reached out. I was born here in Edmonton, so I have quite a widespread community, and a lot of the people that know me here in Edmonton know the depth of my journey around the world and
Mm-hmm.
why this is so meaningful to me as well. So, uh, it's also one of the reasons, I think, Ronald, that the name kind of didn't resonate with me with the Maori, because we're here locally. And I think that that's something that I just want to really bring to life, is emphasizing the local capacity, with the space. So maybe that's kind of, something to pay attention to. Anyways, the point is that we want to focus on really bringing conscious entrepreneurship and really emphasizing the meaning around business. And
Mm-hmm.
so my thought process, I've been talking to a lot of the local universities and the professors about how can we cultivate a more meaningful approach. And a lot of students also are seeking this type of approach using business and entrepreneurship as a force for good, and really changing the behavior or enhancing the behavior of how we apply business to, the expression of choice. And it doesn't mean that it needs to be only a nonprofit, because, I believe that, it doesn't need to be. I believe that there could be a duality where there's a portion that's like we just had a meeting talking about how a portion could be nonprofit, a portion can be for profit, so that it could be expanded into the community that has how do you say, tax advantages. And I think Ronald really brings up the best part of it. We just need to have the cash. So I think that's really the meaning behind it all, is to be able to do the things that we need to do. So I'd love to get curious if this is something that resonates with you first, doing this locally, and then really how we can do that. I'm certain with your skills and our networks, we can start to hit the ground running and figuring out a space, a place, a
So
way.
what do you need in order to make that happen? What do you need locally? Like what is the basic needs to make this happen?
Well, I think
Great
we need to
question.
find a place, like a place that's consistent and a great environment.
Like a physical location?
Yeah. And I think it would be amazing to have some sort of like a feeling associated, so like an emotional connection in the space, meaning like there's a deeper part of where people come in and they're able to kind of like feel more peaceful, more zen, more kind of this it's not this rah-rah approach, it's more of this calm conversational approach. For me, this is kind of my perspective,
Yeah.
because that's how I like to listen, right? And it means that I also, when I'm speaking, I also I guess I want to be heard. So it's like I listen to others because I like when people listen to me. Do you know what I mean? And I think that this is kind of the big distinction of most, from my perspective, conscious entrepreneurs, is that there is a willingness to really own one another's voice, and they want to see how they can offer their unique perspectives so that they can work in harmony with each other. And from my experience, this is where the most outstanding standards happen. So anyways, the point that of back to needing is like really having an harmonious and peaceful environment that can utilize this type of conversation, sharing, and then focus on action. So yeah, it sounds to me like as I'm speaking, we really just need a place and a way to plan that.
So when you're saying, I really resonate with all these, the idea how you are envisioning. I really like everything you just mentioned. So in order to get that emotional connection in the space, calm conversational approach, harmonious environment, action focus, I feel like you need some sort of an agenda to create this.
Yep.
Right? So I guess my question is, so the physical space and like how are you envisioning to bringing these people into here? So are you thinking to create like a group and start inviting people for this event only, or how are you approaching to find these people to even make this event happen? Because in order to fill the space, well, finding a space is number one big problem, because not problem. Number one, the finding place, we have to make sure that there is enough attendees, right? So how are you envisioning to create a group locally?
Well, a lot of the I think it really is once we have a time and a date that it will just
Mhm.
happen because we have so many like connection here locally.
Got
Uh,
it. Okay.
and people really as long as it's something that we can start to just share and maybe a lead up to it, like 2 weeks or something like this, because
Mm-hmm.
I find that if more people are aware of it, they will show up because it's what people are starving for. They're what does Tony say? That they're drowning in information and starving for wisdom.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Okay, so I guess that's great because I'm actually not from Alberta at all, like originally, and Edmonton is completely new, so I have zero connection. I don't know anybody. I don't know the city. I don't know anybody. I just know West Edmonton Mall. So there's not much
Me
that I
too.
can
Me too.
utilize. You too. There's not much of a connection wise that I can utilize or help because that I just don't have that. But if you do have a lot of local connection to start, then I think we can make something work. Now, the physical location, I think physical location, you can start with something smaller because it's like egg first or chicken first. It's like we don't know the attendee numbers and we don't, you know what I mean? So we can't really choose. So I think you can start something a little bit smaller, more intimate, and just make the environment really just inviting, welcoming, calm conversation, like you said, and then just aim to fill that space, and then we just grow from there, you know.
Well,
You just gotta start.
yeah, so I was thinking, we have a really good connection with the ladies on Wellness on White. Our friend knows the owner, and we could provide maybe once a week these sound healings where people come in
I love that.
and we add a value of creating sound healing.
Mm.
And then after the sound healing, we go into a deeper conversation. So it really kind of sets the tone of peace, tranquility,
Mm.
and experience.
I'm
And
here.
then after the sound, we can really get into a depth of awareness of our
Yeah.
whys and our purpose, because then
Uh-huh.
we can really acknowledge that kind of tranquility within ourselves first with the sound. And then
Mm-hmm.
from that place, so I think that we I mean no I have the who. What we need is
Mm-hmm.
just kind of like the how to make it happen, and I think your support and guidance would be really helpful.
Yeah, for sure. I think that sound healing approach is amazing. What just kind of popped in my mind is there is this like a local, very small local business in Cochrane, I think. And I was very interested in to attend one of these events that these ladies offer. I never got to go because, life happens, but it kind of reminded me of that. So they do start with like sound bath, sound healing. And then it's just like a long 4 hours to 5 hours event. And I can maybe share kind of what they do afterwards as well. It just reminded me of that when you were talking about it. But just to
Beautiful.
kind of extend from sound healing to the next things to do, I think I can share that as well. No, that's a great approach. And you said the sound healing space, you know the owner of this space.
I don't know the space. Like they have a space, but it's not one that would work because it's more of like a wellness spot. I know the
Uh-huh.
people that can come and facilitate the sound healing. So
Oh, themselves. Okay. Like
yeah,
an
so we
off
would have
service provider. Okay.
yeah. So then what we can do is maybe I'll ask, because I was talking to my friend Scotty, who is much in the fitness world here, and Evolve Fitness. Evolve Fitness here is like they're like fitness guys that really also they've been creating major events here in Edmonton and Calgary.
Mm-hmm.
and they want to bring that vitality side to it. So if we can nail in a vitality component and a sound, we can really harmonize how vitality comes from within, and then we can get into the bigger peak performance side of things, and then how that peak performance emphasizes and changes the nature of our business, our families, our relationships, and so on and so forth. So, what I will do is I will connect you directly with Scotty, and
Mm-hmm.
we can together figure out the space, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, for sure. And when you are doing, do you do any like a similar things elsewhere? Like how you're actualizing your vision and like these type of group stuff? Like, do you do it elsewhere too? Have you done any organizing? I'm sure yes.
Yeah, so this is actually, thank you for asking. Most people don't ask me questions, so that's good. Really, most people don't ask me any questions. It's fascinating.
Oh,
So,
weird.
yeah, so yes, I've been doing this for 6 years around the planet, and I've been doing it whether it's all over Brazil or Ecuador. I've been doing it in Mexico, in Middle East, in Australia,
Mm,
in Spain, and I would do this. I have done this, and I would do this because it's the right thing to do, and
mm-hmm.
people need to tap into this type of emphasis for such a long time. Although it wasn't always profitable, it was meaningful for me, and it still is. And I continue to do it because I believe in it so deeply, and this more inherent wisdom that comes through people. I don't need to be the one that does everything. I just know I need to keep creating it because it's a way that allows people to tap into their own true wisdom and then give them the space to really be creative and moving forward. So yes, I've done it in multiple different places. We've done retreats. You know, we have one coming up at the end of April. Ronald here is one of our amazing speakers there,
Mm,
and will be there. So, you know, he's tapping into a lot of his own voice to add value.
mm,
And you know, we just have a lot of things that I'm also speaking with some ladies in Dubai, you know, that I spoke at their events briefly in the past. You know, they put me as a keynote, so they really love the extension of what we're calling the conscious revival
mm,
and discovering the art of vitality. And they love the component of really bringing the quality people that are willing to tap into what it means to truly add value with their businesses instead of just profit, using their
mm,
business as a force for good.
mm-hmm. No, that's great. I actually did an internship in Ecuador too, so familiar there.
Ah, where? Where in Quito?
No, the Guayaquil.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I was there, and then I did also another internship in Malaysia. So that was the
Nice.
same year, like a final year university thing, and I loved both places. That's great. I was gonna ask you, that's really impressive. And I was gonna ask you when you said you were doing all these Brazil, Ecuador, like all these experiences elsewhere, creating similar things that we're trying to do. Was it like a continuous thing, or was it more like a one-shot event kind of deal?
Yeah, so I kept moving from country to country
Hmm.
to wanting to duplicate them.
Oh,
And
okay.
you know, it wasn't as at that time in the past as successful because I didn't have as many people around me
Hmm.
supporting. I was really doing it all by myself. And
Okay,
so
got
uh, I would find new people and then I would organize them and then I would make it happen and I would do it again and then I would find new people and I would organize it, I'd do it again. And
it.
now with the power of the Lighthouse and also the community and the consistency, what's happening is people are showing up like this again, like this great man Ronald, to help and in a lot of different ways. So there's a lot of people that behind the scenes are supporting, and without them, this would not be possible. Without
Right.
anybody, yeah.
That's amazing. Another important question is when you are doing this now that you have more, connections and the community who are more interested in these things, that's all great. But what are the usual roadblocks? Because for me, when I think about these events, it's all funding. To make it
Yeah.
work, it's all funding issue. Other than
Yeah.
that, like what are the biggest issue to make this happen to? Because I mean, one-time thing is great too, but what we're discussing is continuity, right? We want to keep doing this. I personally think that weekly is a little bit, I think weekly is almost not doable because usually business owners are very, very tied up. Unless if it's like, I don't know, like you don't need to work, I don't know, but most of us are, I'm assuming we're really busy. I'm thinking maybe to make it continuously possible, it will be more likely realistically a monthly thing. Bi-weekly, even I think it's a little bit pushing, but maybe monthly wise, you're meeting up 12 times a year. I think it can be more sustainable and meaningful. What are your thoughts on that? And also, what are the issues, one of the major issues when you're trying to make things like this happen? Because my concern is funding, and how do you usually navigate that?
So I do like less is more. I'm discovering that now
Hmm.
more and more. I think what I'm learning is that I can give as much as I humanly comes out of me, and what I'm learning is by spreading myself into multiple different places, it might be more meaningful. So maybe once a month is, or twice or once every 2 weeks, twice a month is also great. The reason why I was suggesting doing twice a week was, or at least once a
Twice
week,
a week?
but
Oh.
sorry, no, twice a month. My apologies.
Wishful
Once a week
thinking. Wishful thinking.
or once a week was because I was thinking that afterwards we could get them into a way that really keeps going. So what that means is they go through these experiences, but then they get put into or invited into kind of like a mastermind where they can go deeper. And so it can
Mhm.
become a meaningful approach towards how they can create sustainable economic foundation by having different support systems in terms of creating impact. So influence, measurables, purpose, adversity, creation, and transformation inside their cultures. So by having bi-weekly experiences, we could funnel people into those experiences for a minimal cost, 49 $90, whatever, or at these networking kind of events. And then
Mhm.
as a result, people from that experience can come deeper down into our mastermind where they can be around a community locally or globally that is acting local, thinking global in terms of creating impact. And what we're doing is where we're really creating active level part mastery so that
Mhm.
this gives us the opportunity to co-create. And so
Yeah.
people can then be held accountable to those standards, those outstanding standards, because most people in community, when they are, especially in business, from my own experience, when they are challenged with the diversity of monetary paradigms, they go back to a place of scarcity versus coming from a place of abundance. And so
Mhm.
by being around other great entrepreneurs that are focusing on impact, they can actually stay in the coherence of abundance versus going back into their mind in the place of scarcity. And by
That's
unifying that type of culture and that business entrepreneurship, we create a standard of outstanding models that operate in the community on a globe on a local level here in Edmonton and we start duplicating that process in other events or areas around the world, whether it's spaces like Calgary, or Banff, or eventually, Toronto, or down in the US, or across the pond, in Netherlands where Ronald's from, or going to Dubai, or so on and so forth.
Got it. So you're thinking these events that we discussed in the very beginning is more like a kind of smaller ticket item or like a freebie kind of thing to funnel them into some like a bigger masterminds. So
Yeah.
do you have the high ticket item already to funnel them into, or is it something that you are thinking to create together?
So I already have the details. I've had
Uh-huh.
those details for quite some time. Now
Uh-huh.
it's about making sure that the right people, or the people that want to do it with me, because I don't want it to be just about me doing it. The
Uh-huh.
reason that I keep sharing it
Mm-hmm.
is that I want people to do it with. I want us to do it as a team, because if it's only about me, then it's not sustainable. It's only, you know what I mean? If I'm the chokehold, that means that it's all about one person. It shouldn't be about one person. It should be about a collective movement towards
Mm-hmm.
a meaningful impact. And as a result, yes, I've created the space. I understand the process. I have the idea, and I've made it a reality. And I had prior experiences of doing it just based off of me. And I think it's way more impactful and sustainable by doing it as a team, by bringing different peoples and leaders from different modalities and verticals to really create change on a global level. Thinking again, acting local, thinking global.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to change the world. I'm here to just focus on doing the best things that I can do within myself. And then as a
Mm-hmm.
result, the right people will show up. I really
Yeah.
believe in that.
Yeah. Okay, I think I have a better idea of how this whole thing would work in a picture. Um, are you thinking, because I've done like an online funnelings too, so like there is a lot of, steps to get to the high ticket item. Is there anything in between the initial events that we're discussing and to the end? Is there anything in between that you're thinking?
Well, like for example, we have this retreat happening,
Uh,
which I think would be a great value add for anybody that really wants to join or get a deeper immersive experience outside. Like, so instead of thinking that they need to go to, uh, like some people, they're stuck in their minds and they want to live in
uh,
Edmonton, and they need a place to kind of go away. And so by helping business owners or entrepreneurs tap into a nature ecology,
oh,
then
okay.
it takes them out of their mind and puts them into a space of grace or peace, where they can actually start to discover how their business can be a force for good in a different environment. Now,
Mm-hmm.
again, we have this community that we do online for free. Uh, we have this space where people can go, in terms of like when we were doing Tony events, we would add implementation days on the back end of Tony's events. So they
Mm-hmm.
would be like integration.
Yeah.
Um, Ronald, did you say something? Because you're muted if you did. Oh, he's talking to somebody else. And then basically, between I've had different lead magnets and things like this. I have online courses called like the Conscious Cash Flow Accelerator. We have different alignment courses that I have presented and done.
Mm,
Uh,
okay.
I have tons of content that we can do in between, that can be add value.
Mm-hmm.
It's just about doing this in a way that is meaningful and sustainable for all of us. So I have
Yeah.
done so many different things. I had courses called Business Nirvana or Conscious Cash Flow Accelerator, alignment courses. I've done, high ticket, low ticket, community. And it's about now what I'm learning is I have to take a step back and I have to ask more questions because I have all of this stuff. I have all of this knowledge and wisdom that I've learned from my own experiences. Then
Uh-huh.
now it's about corralling it in a way that is meaningful so that people that are really looking for this, it makes sense. It makes sense in a way that people are able to understand how this is brought to life, and also that it's not there's like to make it an intelligent business model, to make it something that is super sustainable, not just for the people that are serving, like as us as a team, so people can grow from it. So we can
Yeah.
all grow, in monetary, we can grow spiritually, financially, emotionally, intellectually, so that it's not just about the money, it's as a result of the impact that we create. However, again, it's not, it's, I want this to also be a business. This is not a charity. If that makes sense.
Okay. Okay. So then what would be the biggest value that you're looking for someone like me? Like what would you find super valuable to pitch in this whole thing? Like, do you want me
Well,
to be what type of contribution are you looking for?
Well, I feel like I don't want to answer that because that's, I think, better for you to answer, is what do you feel like what resonates most with you, right? Like,
Uh-huh.
because I'm not seeking anything. I'm curious and attracting all of the opportunities that are willing to work alongside. And so at the end of the day, this is also a meaningful, purposeful mission that can be successful. I just want to align interests so that as a result of the success that comes from this, everybody is winning and it's a win-win scenario.
100%. Okay.
I have a
So,
I have a lot to give. I have a lot of energy, as you can see. I have a lot of intensity, and I'm not slowing down, and I haven't slowed down anytime previous. Yeah, I mean, Ronald can vouch and say this guy is speeding up and getting even more meaningful. So I just really, really, really I know I need support. I know I need wisdom around me. And I know that if this is really the bigness that I'm thinking about, then I can't do it by myself. It requires an amazing group of people that really want to align interests and grow
yeah.
together, right?
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so I think I have a better idea of like what this whole thing is about. So I do see myself able to add value from many different perspectives. I've done also funneling online too. I've done funneling in, it one person to person, in person as well. I understand the process. Um, Maybe give me a day to think about where I can add value, and then see how you feel about it. I think the biggest thing is, yeah, I think this idea, like I just wrote down the whole thing, what we just discussed. I think kind of polishing this to make it sustainable. So like make this idea into a plan to make it sustainable is number one, so that we're not just wasting our energy and time to do something just one time shot. And then once that plan is more structured, then we can kind of plug in where everybody can put their value into to actualize this whole thing. And then go from there. And again, we will have to just find a smaller physical location because again, it's like a chicken and egg situation, right? Who you don't know how big of a attendee is gonna be. And then I think we will have to kind of polish our end goal as well. Like you mentioned, it's not charity. Of course, it will be both. But we will have to kind of polish how do we envision what win-win means for everybody? And then with that clear goal, I think I can probably decide where I can add the value.
One of the things that I really love about Tony's model is the
Mhm.
ESOP, is like the employee stock ownership program.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Ronald knows that how much I love that, and it's something that we talked a lot with Richard Harmon and things like this. And so Richard, I don't know if you remember, but Richard is Tony's ESOP guy. So he spoke with Tony on Business Mastery, and I also had a very great conversation with him as well. So these are some of the things that are very like for me meaningful. I think that having the value of an ESOP, or like the exit strategy of an ESOP, which is not really an exit strategy, but I
Mhm.
think that this is really the huge opportunity that allows people to really just fully be involved and fully be committed to it,
Mhm.
because then it's based off of merit, it's based off of, you know, yes, like I'm a natural born leader. I don't need the title. It's who I am. I don't have anything to prove here. It's just my nature. And so that's this is where it's a vessel. I'm just getting to use this amazing, beautiful body and this, nice beard, this
Yeah.
great smile for a vessel that allows to be in service to something greater. So,
Yeah.
it's really the essence. So, I hope that makes sense to you both.
No, it does. It totally does. So, um, no, this is a great conversation. Definitely, it's something to start. I will put my head around this because I need a little bit of more clarity before committing to anything. And I also want to be a part of something. And I want to, when I say I'm gonna add value, I want to commit to it because I just don't want my time to go waste. So everybody's busy, right? Everything we do has to be intentional. And if we are putting our feet down, then like we got to make it work and you have to commit. And I want to make sure that I am available for that. So I will get some more clarity on it and then I'll send you a message to what's in my mind and where I can add value and what I can commit to. And then we can go from there.
Gee, I just really want to thank you for your time and your graciousness and your curiosity. It means a lot to
Yeah,
me, that you're really willing to just. I know that we've been meaning to have this conversation, and I'm so grateful that we did it on the community call where we could like stream it live and share it, and everybody can look back at this, because to me transparency is so important, and I just want people to know what the reasons are, because reasons come first.
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, you too. I appreciate your time. I think what you're doing is amazing. Regardless this, whatever you're doing and whatever is continuing, I think it's great what you're doing. Honestly, it's so amazing. And I think a lot of people want to do things like this, but they just don't have enough resources or, enough support to do this. So it's great. Great seeing you do this, and I'm happy to be part of it.
Thank you so much, Ronald. I'm
Yes,
curious if
thank
you have
you.
any questions, brother.
Well, I'm thoroughly enjoying this conversation because Eric getting grilled. I love this. I love this.
No, nobody's getting
Normally,
grilled.
Eric. No, no, no. Normally, Eric asks the questions,
Oh,
and you're now asking Eric, and he's telling. I love this. I love this. Well, I had a lot of thoughts going into my in and out of my head. One is maybe G and Seb should connect. And see, you're asking great questions about the funneling and about what are you presenting to the world, and there should be some structure there, like Tony has a structure. You go to UPW, then you go to Date with Destiny, then you go to Business Mastery, then you go to Business Mastery 2, then you go to Leadership, and then you go to Platinum, and then you go to Finance, and then you have this, and then you have that. So there's a structure, there's a funnel.
yeah.
So that's it's a nice perspective to think about what you want to deliver. So that's great. Yeah.
Beautiful. That's great. No, I think this is how the healthy conversation should go, you know. It's not interview, right? So it's both ways to understand each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
great.
was just teasing Eric with that because he was talking about his beautiful beard, and he knows how I love sound healings. So he was
Oh,
talking of sound healing every week. So I was being a little bit jealous, and that's something I don't want to feel anymore because jealousness is not a good feeling. But
no, it's
I want to
very
go there every
bad.
week. I want to go there.
That's
So
awesome.
maybe you should ask Andrea about what is a great repetition for the sound healing. Is that weekly? Is that monthly? Is there a frequency where there is that
Hmm.
she would
Brother, I used to
how do you call it?
when I lived in Ibiza in Brazil, we used to do it almost every other day, right? Like the music is just it's a language of the universe, and so
Okay,
it doesn't matter. It's as much as you want. So when
okay,
we're
okay.
infinite,
That's the question.
yeah, yeah. So
Have you
Sorry,
done
I
any
interrupt
like a
you.
spirit? Oh, sorry. Have you done any like a spiritual retreat like ayahuasca or if you've been in like Brazil?
yeah, so I didn't just do ayahuasca, I studied it. So I spent time with a lot of the tribes, and my brothers are part of the Honi Queen, the Yawanawa tribes, and I've spent a lot of time with them in person. We've built very deep relationships, and then we started doing those brothers of mine. I flew them out to Ibiza to Spain, and we then started to provide really meaningful ceremony around. So this is something that, I've not just done, I've studied and I've become, well acquainted with the energy and the tribes and the leaders of it. So,
Beautiful. I'm
yeah.
so curious about ayahuasca. I've been like reading about it like for 6 months now.
Yeah, so,
And
so maybe Brazil, our retreat might be a great opportunity for you to get even deeper because these masters, uh, they're my brothers, and they continue to stand tall, stand next to me, as we continue to develop and grow. These guys, we are bonded at a very deep level, and we have a deep responsibility of what we're doing. So these mighty men and women that serve the medicine are my soul family, and
that's amazing. Very awesome. Yeah, very curious about it. That's great.
yeah.
Okay. I do have another meeting in 5 minutes, so I gotta run.
No
But
worries.
I appreciate you guys' time. This was such a great conversation. I appreciate the curiosity, and I'm very happy to be part of it. And hope to catch you guys soon, and I'll update you, Eric, with some clarity.
I appreciate you so much and your wisdom. I'm really grateful.
You too. Thank you guys. Have a great day.
Talk soon.
Thank you, G.
Bye.
Thank you.
Ronald, brother,
Hey, bro.
uh, if you have a moment, I think Joanna, she emailed to see if you're available on Monday and Tuesday, the accountant. Um,
Yes. Yes. Monday is not good, and Tuesday it's only in the afternoon, and that's in the night. So probably it will be the Wednesday, and then
okay,
before or after the lighthouse call.
okay, I will see what's good and I'll kind of get it organized for us, brother.
Okie dokie.
Thank you so much for everything, bro. Thanks for being here. And I'm really grateful
It's the universe.
because,
Thank the universe.
I
Normally
just,
I wouldn't have the time today.
yeah.
So there is something brewing. There is something brewing.
Well, I just really am thankful because I really see how much so many of you amazing family really believe in what we're doing and the greater mission. So your presence tells me a lot. Thank you so much.
I love you, brother.
I love you, man. I'm gonna jump on the call with Andrea now. She just messaged me like 2 minutes ago as you said her name, so I have to jump on the call and see what her needs are.
Andrea from the South Healing of the or the
No, Andrea from real estate. Real estate.
oh, real estate, Andrea. Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe, and that was another hallucination I had, is ask Andrea and Brenda for a place to host your Edmonton meetings.
Yeah, be great.
Ask them. Okay. So
Great.
I see you tomorrow.
Okay, big hugs. Talk soon.